What is going on, everyone? I'm Sir James from Gamerfuzion.com, and today I'm here to provide you guys with my review for Hyperdimension Neptunia Producing Perfection. That is a long title. Now the story goes like this. A world that remains peaceful thanks to the power of the console patrol units. Suddenly, something appears to shake the very foundation of this world. The world has been taken over by the idol boom that is growing interest in the pop stars and has caused the source of the CPU's powers and the shares to vanish. Unable to ignore the situation any longer, the CPUs call for an emergency meeting. In this case, all four of them get together to summon you, the producer, to help them on their quest to get the shares back, and you have 180 days to do so. As for the graphics, visually this game is colorful, from the character details, from the different stages that you're going to be performing in, and from the different locations that you're going to be transferring throughout this entire game. Another cool aspect about the game is the stages that you get to perform in, is that each stage has its own unique look and design to it. So some stages has this dark, creepy tone to it, but you have the center stage where your character is going to be dancing in. You have another stage that's bright and colorful, but just each stage was unique to its own, and I thought that was really well done within the title. Now we get to the gameplay, and the gameplay is broken up pretty simple. Starting with the main menu, you have a total of 4 different options. You have producer mode, unlimited concert, viewer, and configuration. In producer mode, that is going to be the main campaign where you get to choose one of the 4 CPUs to train for the next 180 days. Next up is Unlimited Concert, and this one, as the name suggests, Unlimited Concert is where you're able to perform for as much as you want, however long you want, and there you could choose one of the 4 characters or even have a duet, and you're able to bring in props to decorate the stage with to your liking. You also have viewer mode. Now in viewer mode, you actually hold your Vita in a vertical way, and there you're kind of able to interact with the character with a touchscreen. You're also able to change the outfits in terms of how your character looks, and you're able to listen to various amounts of soundtracks in the game, and of course set up an alarm clock if you want to have your own personal alarm with it. And last but not least is configuration, and there is where you're going to be changing your different settings, which has a lot of it, and the game does feature the original Japanese voice actors, so you could choose to have the English or Japanese voice actors, which I got a chance to listen to both, and I think both sounded great, but the music is going to be in Japanese no matter what, which was really enjoyable to listen to. Now what you do in the game is that after you choose one of the 4 CPUs that you're going to be training, you have a section where you're going to be having different options. You have work, lesson, relax, move, and the main portion, concert. Now in the work section, you're going to be having different options such as add a campaign, an event, or recording booth, and each of these events actually affect one of your different settings, which I'll get to in just a moment. You also have lessons, and that one you could work on your vocals, dance, rehearsal, and practice. Next is the relax. Sometimes your character is going to get a bit stressed out, so of course you don't want them to stress out. You want them to kind of enjoy some relaxation, kind of unwind a bit to get rid of the stress. So here your different options are a vacation. You could do a simple refresh, which is basically kind of taking the day off. You're also able to do interaction, which you can meet up with some of the other CPUs, and they do a little interaction in terms of how their progress is going on and what's going to be coming up in the next few days in the game. Next up, you have Relocate, where after you become popular in one location, you can move to a different section in the game, which looks really nice. And last but not least, after a specific amount of days, you get to unlock Concert, and here is where you actually go in stage and do your performance. Now, in terms of the stats that you get to increase, her stats are trust, vocals, rhythms, expressions, and knowledge, and they have a stress meter, so which is what you're going to be keeping an eye on and choosing one of the relaxed options. Now in the concert mode, this is where you're going to go in and where your character is going to dance. Now you're not doing any of the interaction with the dancing at all. You begin the stage by selecting your character and putting her where you want, so you could put her in the center, kind of off to the side, wherever it is. It's basically your personal preference. After all, you are the producer. You get to set up the stage. You get to pick however you want it to look. Also from there, you get to select what stage you want to perform on, what kind of effects you want. You could have like lighting effects that beam down from your character, butterflies. There's a various amounts of options here, but you kind of get the audience's attention because you want the audience to love your character. But this game is so simple that you don't really have to try at all to get everyone to like you in the game. And that's pretty much really about it. And basically what you're going to be doing from start to finish for the next 180 days, which goes by extremely fast. I mean, you could beat the game in no time. Basically, each day you're going to choose one of the 4 options: work, lesson, relax, move, or perform in the concert. And then you're going to increase the stats until a concert shows up. You're going to perform in that concert, and you're going to do the same thing over and over and over again. And that's pretty much the entire game right there. Now, as we talk about the sound in the game, as I stated, both the English and Japanese voice actors sounded really good in the game. In terms of the music in the game, after all, this is a rhythm game. How many songs are there? Well, in this case, you only have about 5 or 6 different songs, all of which are in Japanese, and all of which sounded really good to listen to. It was just a portion of the game I wish there was more selection of songs to choose from. Who knows, they may add those as DLC content, but I just wish the game had a little bit more of a selection to choose from. Now, as for the lifespan, what kind of replay value do I see for this game? And to be honest, I don't really see a big replay value for this one. I mean, I know the developers stated that this game is not to be taken seriously. It's kind of like doing its own thing. But at the same time, you know, there's not really a whole lot going for the game. I mean, true, you could choose one of the 4 CPUs to train. And after you train the one, you could go back and train the other 3 for the next 180 days. In which each of those characters has their own personal dialogue. And of course, their own attitude as well. Which is nice to see how each of the characters pretty much react in the game. But as I stated, all you're doing in the game is choosing one of the different options: work, lessons, relax, move, and concert. And you're doing that for the next 180 days. I mean, there's going to be a couple times where you're actually not using one of the options because something else is going to happen in the game. But that's all you really do. And then when you get to the concert, all you're doing is working the camera. Okay, do you want the you want the center shot? Do you want it to the right, to the left? And as I stated, it doesn't take any effort to actually beat the game at all. You could simply just press the same buttons over and over again, and you could win. That's pretty much how easy the game is. So in my personal opinion, the game doesn't have a really much of a big lifespan, but then again, it's all about personal preference between the users. As for the innovative, was there anything new here, or what's the stuff that we were already seen before? Now, in terms of rhythm-based games, this one is actually quite different than the ones I played. Normally, you're the one participating in the songs. And this one, however, you're basically the producer, you're the camera guy. So you're just pretty much working the camera, you're setting up the stage for your performer, and then you're capturing all the footage. And that's really about it. I mean, to be honest, I wish the game had a little bit more interaction with the characters, kind of like Hatsune Miku Project Diva F, but combined with the camera work in this way, you know, kind of like mix the titles in. I think we could have had something a little bit more unique. But as I stated, the developer stated that this game was not meant to be taken seriously, and it's kind of doing its own thing. So do take that into consideration. But in the end, I'm going to have to give the game a 6 out of 10. As I stated, there's not really a whole lot going with it. The songs are nice to listen to, so I do highly recommend you pick up the game's soundtrack. But other than that, there's not really a lot of replay value for the game, unless this is what you're into. But as I stated, a 6 out of 10. If you guys want to check out some gameplay, you guys could check the link down below. Anyways, I'm Sir James from Gamerfuzion, and always remember guys, Gamerfuzion empowers your gaming.